Our trip so far traced the banks of the mighty Hudson River, and after heading north from the highlands, we decided to visit Newburgh, a historic river city and home to around 29,000 people. After pulling in, we met with local community leader and poet Decora Sandiford.
My name is Decora. I live here in the city of Newburgh, right in the middle of the city. I'm a performance artist, spoken word poet, hip-hop artist, activist, and urban farmer.
What are some of the biggest issues that are facing the city of Newburgh and the community at large?
I would say the two major issues are housing and jobs. There's a lot of abandoned lots, a lot of dumping, people, environmental hazards.
Could you talk a little bit about kind of what you know about climate change? And
I would say I don't know as much as I should know about climate change. I do know that it has a lot to do with more people on Earth and more building, a lot more cutting down of trees. The Amazon, for example, being destroyed. I think that there are people in the community that are concerned with it, but there's so many day-to-day survival issues. Where am I going to eat? Where am I going to live tomorrow? My landlord's kicking me out. I didn't pay the rent, but I didn't pay the rent because I lost my job because I don't have any transportation to get to my job. And that's the thing about climate change is the changes are very subtle. I mean, they're very drastic. They really are. If you know about it, if you study it, if you look at the numbers, but for people every day walking down the street, man, it's hotter than it was last summer. It's subtle. And if there was evidence of this is where we were 20 years ago, this is a picture, and not the same old picture. This is the polar ice cap 20 years ago. This is where it is now. That's cool. There's no polar ice caps in Newburgh.
This is for the black kid in the mosh pit with the mohawk, the white kid in the rhyme circle with the fro hawk. Be different, just be different. Don't let them stop you because they don't see different.
I'm usually touring on the road, performing. When I'm not on tour, I try to do as much as I can with youth in the community. One of the youth said something today that was very interesting. We were discussing some lyrics from Lupe Fiasco's song, and his first words were, "I don't have a perspective on this. But what I think is," and then he went on to discuss what he thought. A lot of youth feel that way. They don't have a perspective on things, but they don't realize that they do have a perspective on things.
I'm Cam Pierce, artist, poet, MC, stuff like that. Got my music group. She's in it, The Wait. What you got to say?
I'm Elzina Canigan from Newburgh.
What's it like to live here?
I love it. Everything about it. The view, depending on where you are, the people, everything. I love Newburgh.
It gets a bad rep, but it's actually really good around here. It's beautiful, the culture, the arts, everything. Definitely people are concerned with the violence and the level of gang activity around here, but it's not really as bad as people make it out to be. It's just kids doing whatever they think is cool.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when I say the word climate change?
Global warming.
Do you think that's something that could affect Newburgh at all, or
affect the world? It's much bigger than Newburgh.
do people ever talk about global warming in your community?
I haven't really heard it spoken out in Newburgh, really.
I mean, we talk about it in school. We're talking about it right now. But other than that,
it's
really.
you don't see people standing on the street corner talking about global warming. It's something that a lot of people need to know about.
Why do you think people need to know about it?
Because sooner or later it's going to get to the point where you can't turn back, where it's going to be too late.
I mean, I think there's always time to think about what's important. People, if you're looking at something this big, then you don't see everything that's really big. So I think it's really important to know that if people knew about it, then they would talk about it and they would know what to and what not to do.
When it comes to climate change, it should be in your brain to make a change and maybe take something out and make it great. Maybe you should take the garbage out of the city and try to bring something better and make it all look pretty. Maybe if you decided to think differently, maybe you would be different and have everybody roll with me. So when it comes down, climate change should be something that you should think about every time and every day.
Be done better.